Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you're welcome. Today's video I'll be showing you guys how to cut and sew this beautiful two-piece. It is very easy to make. Please note there are different methods of cutting and sewing palazzo trousers, and I have also tried different methods of cutting and sewing palazzo trousers. But on this day that I was cutting this trouser, Holy Spirit directed me to cut it in a different way that I've not tried before, and surprisingly it came out very nice on me. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I cut and sew it using the second fabric, because on the day that I cut the first style I did not record the process. I never knew that it would come out so nice on me, and I never knew that you guys will be interested in learning how to cut and sew it. So I had to buy another fabric and recreate it again. I'll be showing you guys the process of cutting and sewing using the yellow and black fabric. So without further ado, let's move right to the tutorial. I am cutting the palazzo trouser first. So from the 6 yards of the African print, I folded my fabric into two. After that, I'm going to rule my starting line. The height of my waistband is 2 inches, but I'm going to minus 1.5 inches from the tape, meaning I'm going to place the tape 1.5 inches on the starting line. Then I will rule my vertical measurement. First, I measured 9.5 inches for my waist to my hip line. I measured 12.5 inches for my crotch depth. Then the length of my trouser is 47 inches including hemming allowance. I also measured my waist to my knee length, which is 23 inches. To determine my crotch depth measurement, I used my hip measurement divided by 4 minus half inch. That's why I have 12.5 inches for my crotch depth. So on the crotch depth line, I impute my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches. I extend the same measurement to the waistline. On the waistline, I measured half inch by the side, then I blend it to the hip line just to give it a nice shape by the side of the trouser. So for my crotch extension, I measured 2.5 inches. Then I curve it. On the waistline, I measured half inch inward. Then I extend the measurement to the crotch. This is to reduce bulging in front of the trouser. Next, I moved to my knee line. I measured 1 inch inward. I moved to the hem line. I measured 1 inch inward. I ruled a straight line from the knee line to the hem line. Then on the hem line, I measured the wideness of the palazzo trouser. I measured 15 inches. I measured the same 15 inches on the knee line as well. Then I ruled that into a straight line. After that, I placed my leg curve to connect from the crotch extension to the 15 inches on the knee line. Then I blend from the knee line to the crotch by the side. I'm going to bring the camera close so that you guys will see the drafting. So this is the waist, the crotch. This is how it looks. So next is to cut it out. After cutting, I'm going to place the front bodies to the folded fabric and cut the back bodies. For my back rise for the back body, I measured 3 inches. If you have a big butt, measure 3 inches. But if your butt is small or medium, you can measure 2 inches or 2.5. But I measured 3 inches for mine. Then for the back crotch extension, I measured 3 inches. Then I moved to the waistline. I measured 2.5. Then I measured 3 inches on the hip line for the back bodies. Then I rule a straight line from the 3 inches on the hip line to the 2.5 inches on the waistline. After that, I use my curve ruler to curve the extension, the back crotch extension to the hip, like so. Then I slanted from the 3 inches back rise to the waist. Next, I move to the knee line. I measured 2 inches for the back. Then on the hem line, I measured 2 inches. I rule a straight line from the hem line to the knee line. Then I use the leg curve to connect from the back crotch extension to the knee. The side remains the same. The side remains the same as the front. There's no allowance by the side of the trouser. Next is to cut it out. The side of the back trouser is the same thing with the front. There is no allowance added to the side of the back. I cut exactly the same shape as the front. I'll be adding side pockets to this trouser. I'll be adding inseam pockets. There are different styles of pockets, but the pocket I'll be adding to this is inseam. So on the waistline, I measured 1 inch downward and I notch it. That's where I will start sewing my pockets. Next is to cut the crop top. My fabric is folded into 4 because I'm cutting the front bodies and back bodies together. The length of the top, I used 25 inches for the length, but for the first style I used 26.5 inches. I decided to make the top shorter for this yellow and black fabric. On the starting line, I impute my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus ½ inch. I measured neck width 3.5 inches, neck depth for the back 1 inch, neck depth for the front 3.5 inches. Then I curve the neckline. I measure 1 inch for the shoulder slope. I connect it to the neck width. Then for the armhole depth, I measured 10 inches. I normally use 9 inches for my armhole depth, but because it is a free top, I decided to add 1 inch to it. That's why I measured 10 inches. Next, I added joining allowance on the shoulder. On the chest line, I impute my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches. The total measurement that I have on the chest line is 14.5 inches. Then at the lower part, I impute my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches. The total measurement that I have at the lower part is 16 inches. On the chest line, the total measurement that I have is 14.5 inches. Next is to cut it out. I first of all cut out the back neckline, shoulder slope, and the sides. I quickly use this fabric to cut out the inseam pockets. I removed the back bodies, then I continue with the front bodies. I cut the front neckline, then I measured 4.5 inches downward for the center slit. Next is to cut the sleeve. I folded my fabric into 4 because I'm cutting the 2 sleeves together. I rule my starting line. I measure the length of my sleeve, 18 inches, including hemming allowance. I rule a straight line. I measure 5 inches for the cap heights. I measured my armhole depth plus 2.5 inches. I rule a straight line to the edge of the sleeve. I find the midpoint and I mark it. I curve my armhole. Before cutting it out, I measure the curve. I measure the curve on the bodies. I measure the armhole curve on the bodies to make sure that it corresponds together. On the upper part of the sleeve, I measured the total wideness. Then on the lower part, I minus 2 inches from it. I slant it and cut the sleeve out. This is a basic sleeve. I believe you all can cut and sew basic sleeve. So I'm not going to show the sewing process of this top. It is very easy. I cut out facing for the necklines for the back and front. I joined the shoulders. After that, I joined the sleeve to the bodies. Then I sew the sides and hem the down parts. That's for the top. I'm not going to show the sewing process of the top. It is very easy, just like I've explained. So we are going to move to the trouser. So for the trouser, we are going to sew the pocket to the side using 1 inch seam allowance to sew the pockets. You are going to repeat this sewing of pockets on all the panels, the 2 front bodies and the back bodies. After that, you will top stitch the pockets. After you have sewn the pockets, you will take one part of the front and one part of the back, the corresponding parts, join them together and sew the sides using 1 inch seam allowance. She's joining one leg of the front bodies and one leg of the back bodies together, the corresponding part. Please bear with us. My assistant only knows how to use the manual machine. I'm forcing her to learn how to use the industrial machine, and she's really coping very fast. I decided to include the sewing process because I know some of you guys would love to learn how to join the trousers together. So bear with her if she's really slow with it. So carefully watch the sewing process. She started with 1 inch seam allowance to join the sides. Then when she got to the pockets, she sewed the 2 pockets together with 1/2 inch. Then when she got to the bodies at the lower part, she continued with the 1 inch seam allowance straight down. After sewing the sides, you will sew the crouch area too and give it a good press. So we've sewn the sides and the crouch area. You will open up the seam and give it a good press. This is how it looks. As you can see, we join one leg of the front and back together. Just join the trouser together the way you normally join yours. Some people don't do it like that. If I want to sew it by myself, I will not join it the way she's joining it. So this is how she knows how to join the trouser. Me, I don't join mine like that if I want to climb the machine by myself. So everybody has different method of joining their trouser. Just join your trouser anyhow you used to join it. So after joining the trouser, we cut out fabric for the elastic waist. After cutting the fabric, so we fold it into 2 and give it a good press. This folding into 2 and ironing is very important because the crease line on the band is going to serve as a guideline when we are sewing it. This is the elastic that I'll be using for the waist. I don't have the small one. What I have left in store is the big one, so I'll be using it like that. So whatever size of elastic you are using, when you are cutting your fabric on fold, make sure that you add extra 1 inch to it. For example, if your elastic is 2-inch wide, when you are cutting your fabric on fold, you will measure 3 inches wide. Okay, the fabric that we used for the waistband, we join 2 pieces together to make it one long strip. So the part that we join together, we place it to the center back. You can either place it to the center front or the center back, anyhow you like. Then you are going to sew 1/2 inch. You sew the band to the waist of the trouser with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So to close the other edge of the waistband, we are going to close it up, making sure that it aligns with the crotch line in front. The front crotch line, we are going to make sure that it aligns together. Just watch how she's doing it. Or sew your waistband to your trouser anyhow you feel comfortable to sew it. So this is the method she normally used to sew waistband to trouser, whether it is short or long trouser, so long it has elastic. This is the method she normally uses. Remember that I told you guys to iron your waistband when you fold it into two. The crease line on the waistband will help us to fold it into two easily. After that, at the top of the band, we measure 1/2 inch and sew it round the band. After folding your band into two, measure 1/2 inch and sew it round the band. Please note there are different styles of waistband. I'm just showing you one style out of many styles of waistband. You can also use any waistband style of your choice. So after sewing the 1/2 inch round it, next is to cut out elastic. To determine the length of elastic to cut, place your tape this way and measure from one side of the trouser to the other side. Whatever you have, cut it on the elastic and add 1 inch to it. This method works for everybody. The 1 inch that you added to the waistband, you use it to overlap on each other and top stitch multiple times. Just watch how she's sewing it. After joining the elastic together, you will place it underneath it this way. Then you will fold 1/2 inch inward on the other side of the waistband. You will make sure that the folding covers the elastic and the stitch line on the bodies. Then top stitch at the edge. You will do this round the waistline. Please don't sew on the elastic. And as you are sewing, you will pull the elastic. Just watch how she's sewing it. If you don't like this method of the elastic, you can use any method of your choice. Personally, I use a different method when I'm sewing my elastic. So this is the method she knows how to use. So I just allow her sometimes to use the method she's very good at, so long it comes out very nice. After sewing, this is how it looks. Then you adjust the elastic and also spread the gathers evenly. After that, you will hem the down parts and take it to your ironing table and give it a good press. So next is to hem the down parts. After hemming the down part, you will give it a good press. This is how to iron trouser. You will open it up this way and iron the sides. For those of you that don't know how to iron trouser, so this is how you open it up and iron the seam line. You give it a good press. So when you open it up this way to iron, it will have crease line in front. It will have crease line both in front and at the back. If you don't know how to iron trouser, watch the ironing part. I'm not going to skip this part. Watch the way she's going to place the trouser and iron it. Ironing will also give your trouser a very neat look and neat finishing. Just watch the ironing process. Please note, on this crouch area, if you love your crouch depth to be very loose, and if you love your crouch depth to be long, you can use your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. I have used different crouch depth measurements, but the particular one that I love is this one. As you can see, the fitting is really nice on me. So we've come to the end of today's tutorial. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share my video. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. I upload weekly tutorial on my channel. Also remember to click the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Until I come your way next, please stay safe and remain blessed. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Bye for now.